So we started with the cheapest reasonable E46 coupe on the internet that I could find. It was going to be a nice budget build, it was going to be cheap, it was going to be easy, and then I started to have a look around at the actual damage. The car was sight unseen when I bought it, had a bit of a slap in the back, bit of damage in the front, a couple of bits of damage over the wheel arches, nothing too crazy. We then jumped in and started playing with bumpers, maybe some new wheels, put some racing seats in, have a little bit of fun. Nothing crazy, nothing too over the top. But then me being me, I started looking into some extra ideas, some expensive ideas. And then it kind of snowballed and we did a full color change. At this point, I've fallen in love with this car completely. Bit of carbon fiber here, bit of carbon fiber there, new paint, nice seats, runs right, coilovers, and here we are pulling the whole front of the car off so we can swap a new engine in. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So it's time to get stuck into this BMW. I've actually been putting it off because I was going to do the hub conversion, show you guys the wheels first, but that kind of hasn't gone so smoothly. No issues, it's just like it takes time to get things done, and I'm realizing that I'm putting off a lot of jobs that I could be doing and I should be doing. So like, you know, I could be jacking the car up, I could be taking the front off, I could be taking the engine out, I could be doing the subframe reinforcements, all these kind of things, and I'm waiting because I'm like, oh, I'll put the wheels on. So I'm sorry, you're gonna have to wait until right at the end when the engine's in and running and all that, and then I'll give you the wheel reveal. You've seen them, but you haven't seen them on the car. So for today, we're going to take the front end off. So first job is take this cover off and get the front bumper off. All right, so this front bumper is really easy to take off. We've got a screw in behind here. We've got two bolts up under this area. So like one in there and then one the other side. And then obviously the other bolt that matches this side. So I'm gonna go get my Torx bits, undo these two massive bolts. I think this is a 10 mil, so I'll undo that. As you can see, I haven't lined it up right when we did the paint job, knowing that it would be coming off. Kind of sits out a little bit. It sits into a locator here, so I'll put that in right when we put it back on. But for now, let's go get those. Take this thing off, disconnect the fog lights, get the actual bumper hidden in the garage until we go to put it back on with the intercooler. All right, so as you can see, when it's located correctly, it'll sit a lot nicer, but I just remembered that I didn't put these side bolts in. So I've taken these two big bolts out. One's here and one's just like above the other air intake. And then literally it just slides out of place. So let's pull that out and that's the first job done. All right, and it's that easy. So fog lights disconnected, horns disconnected, and it comes off. That's where it bolts through, which is nice. This is where it locates, real easy. There's a hole there, and you can see you bolt into there. So when we obviously do put this all back together, it will get put in and gapped correctly, because at that point, she's gonna be mint. She's gonna be better than an M3. So let's go store this away, because we don't need this for ages. And then we're gonna get this pushed back, jacked up on some wheel stands, things like that, and then we're going to drop all the fluids. Already I've had the aircon degassed because you don't want to put that in the ozone layer. So that's done. Then we need to drop the coolant, power steering fluid, trans fluid, and there's another one I'm definitely forgetting, but we've got to disconnect everything off the front and pull all of this whole section off in one big go, because then we can store that, put it all back on in one big go at the end once the swap's done. Actually, before we jack this up, let's do a couple little things that don't really matter. So for example, this is coming out. I'm going to take the airbox out because they don't need to be in here. They're kind of pointless and they're going to get in the way for like taking this off. We're going to take bolts out, like, you know, these two and obviously these two, things like that. So let's do that. I would like to, if I can, leave my headlights in, but as I go, I'll see what I can do with that. But for now, let's take that out and that out. And this is the point in time that I get overexcited and start ripping everything out. So we've got over the radiator ins, pulled that out. We've got the airbox, pulled that out. Then got them pulled out the washer bottle. Then all these plugs here you need to undo, and there's a loom on the right you can slide out. And the same on the passenger side. Unplug the plugs, pull the loom out. Then I'm just disconnecting the aircon lines, taking out the indicators, and then we've got to get the car up in the air. All right, so I got a little bit excited, and off camera, I disconnected the transcooler, which was just a simple clip, and there's some O-rings into the bottom of the radiator, it seems. Pop that out, and the last little bit of coolant seemed to drop out. So all we have to do now is disconnect the power steering lines from the cooler, and this whole front section should come off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 bolts at the top and 2 bolts up here. So I'm gonna disconnect that, drain that because that's gonna be disgusting, then we should be able to get this front off.
For those playing at home, that's 10 bolts in total. Adam can't count past 6 because he knows 6 comes after he runs out of fingers on this side. So he got 6, but he can't remember the rest. So 10 bolts in front.
All right, so that's the front end off. The things I did forget were like the bonnet latch, and there was an extra little hose. You can see it right here, radiator hose. Just, you know, coolant line, just had to take that off as well. Those power steering lines, the whole front end comes off and the radiator slides out the top. So that's mint. That's gonna be nice and easy to put back in, and the front clip being off is gonna be nice and easy to install the intercooler as well. So that is gonna be us for today. Join in the next video, because next video we're ripping this out. I'm actually doing it right now, but you guys will see it next week. So thanks for coming along. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.